It's all about peace, spreading love in the world. So I gotta represent rebels for joy, positivity. You know that we're all about it. Magic happens when you align your purpose, passion, and power. Just believe in your greatness. I know for sure the light that you radiate too strong to ignore. Emotional revolution. It's time that we start. Love, we need more. We are rebels for joy. Woo!
Hello, girlfriend. Welcome back to the Rebels for Joy podcast. My name is Jillian Bolans, and I am here with my soul sister, Bonnie Kelly.
Hey, girls. Welcome to another episode. We are so excited to help you align your purpose, passion, and power, all fueled by joy.
We sure are. And I have a really silly joke to start off the episode for you. And Bonnie, it's just going to be so perfect as we lead into today's conversation. So, what did one volcano say to the other?
I'm assuming erupt something.
I lava you.
Oh gosh. I was thinking,
so cute. Actually, my best friend and I, we actually send each other memes all the time saying I lava you because we have a big deep story around
I was thinking like sorry to interrupt, like sorry to erupt you, like But anyways.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, maybe we'll come up with a Rebels for Joy joke book. We'll come up with our own.
Oh, I feel sorry for everyone's husband who will get the other aftermath of that.
Oh, it's the ever entrepreneur in me, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that is an ambition. We will put together someday a joke book for you guys to torture your spouses and children.
You're welcome.
Okay,
this is actually the perfect start to today's conversation. And Bonnie, you said to me that you have a perfect story that is going to really paint the picture for today's conversation. So I'm just going to, because I don't know it yet. So I'm just going to let you jump right in and go for that. And then I'll do my tell me more questions.
Yay. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a call from one of our colleagues, and she was just saying, she was really talking about just having this day, and she had dropped this statement about that was just really just judging herself for kind of just messing something up. And I mean, I was thinking in my head, like, gosh, how often do we do this? Is that as soon as we make a mistake, that mistake becomes so personal. It's like this personal judgment we'll hold about ourselves. It's this personal mistake, stain on our self-worth that we'll place on it. And I immediately go to share her this embarrassing story about what happened to me the day before. And right now we're still in the lockdown as we're recording this. We're still in the quarantine. And so if you can imagine, it's like going into the stores is a little bit different. I mean, they've got you can go only up and down certain ways in the aisle. And, as an amazingly smart, talented blonde, sometimes I just don't always follow the instructions, right? And so I'll try to get out the intro and in the outro, it just happens, right? I'm into my head thinking of something, it's like squirrel, and the next thing you know, it's like I'm walking out the wrong door because I'm just not used to being so confined to entering in one way and not in the other. So anyways, I'm leaving the store. And I've got a cart full of stuff, and they're not allowed to touch your bags anymore. They're not allowed to help you. And so I'm trying to get this case of water to the bottom of my cart, and it's kind of on there, but not really. And then you walking out of the grocery store and you hit those yellow bumps. You know what I'm talking about, the bumps, right? So I get through these bumps, and now I see this traffic's coming up, trying to hustle, and next thing you know, the case of the water just crumbles out of the cart. And it's not really that big. It's like, oh, I got to pause in the middle of traffic, got to pick this stuff up, got to put it back in there. And which would have been fine, except for one of the bottles in the center of the package had exploded. And so now there's water coming out, and I'm picking this thing up, and now I'm having a wet t-shirt contest because of course I'm wearing a white t-shirt.
Right? Why wouldn't you be?
Oh yeah. And I'm wearing this white shirt. I've got water just dripping down. You can see my freaking leopard bra happening over here. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to juggle with this thing. Now I'm also trying not to show the people the peep show, at the same time, and now water's getting in my purse because of course I hadn't set my purse down yet. I was still wrapped around my side. And it's just a hot freaking mess.
And you live in California where it's 90 degrees where all of this is happening.
Yeah,
so
this
just adds fuel to the fire, right? I'm in Maine and 50 right now feels like 90 degrees. So I'm just picturing it all with the sunshine cascading down on you and illuminating everything that's going on.
Yes. And so it's so easy in this moment, right? To just get angry.
Yeah.
So easy,
Totally.
right? Because the bottle companies are trying to reduce their carbon footprint. So they have thinner bottles with thinner lids, so they're easier to break. The packaging is thinner than it normally would, so it's easier to tear. The no help in putting this on the cart, so I had to try to load it myself, and then it just wasn't fitting on there. Totally fell off. The little dang yellow bumpy things, like what the fudge? Why do we got a yellow bump these things? You know what I mean? Like,
what is that thing called?
I think they're speed bumps. They're meant to slow you down, right? To get your attention so you don't just go straight out into traffic. You know, I understand. So I understand the purpose of all this stuff. And it would have been so easy in that moment just to be furious. Now, mind you, while this is going on, it's quarantine. So people are now gathering. They want to help, but they're too afraid to reach out to me.
Yeah.
And because they're too afraid to get too close. And I just erupted in laughter, Jillian, just erupted in laughter. And I mean, at first it wasn't really like a genuine laugh. It was more of like a ridiculous, I just need to do something because I don't know what to do right now moment. And
every human in the world is looking at me and nobody can help me.
I just start laughing and I'm laughing. And I chose in that moment not to take myself so seriously. And so I'm sharing this with our friend, our mutual friend, and she's laughing her katush off. And she's like, oh my gosh, Bonnie. And I was like, so when I tell you that, is the thing that you were taking yourself so serious about, is it really that bad? And she's like, no. Yours was way more epic. And I said, but the reality is we forget in those moments we have a choice. We have a choice to be angry. We have a choice to laugh. We have a choice to make it personal, to take it serious, to be mad that these people aren't helping. Okay. To be mad at the store for not helping me load it, to be mad at the white t-shirt that obviously was not thick enough. Right. There's
that you will think twice about wearing a leopard bra underneath next time.
You couldn't see the leopard bra without the water, so it was fine.
The water? No, I hear you. I hear you, girl. First world problems. I got you.
So the analogy of this is really to ask yourself, like in those moments, like what right now in your life that either today or this week have you experienced that has gotten a rise out of you, that has gotten you to respond out of joy, that has gotten you to take this mistake as a personal, like, vendetta against yourself, right? Because it would have been easy even in that moment to just start calling myself stupid and you're such a dumb blonde and you're not paying attention, right? And a lot of that is old conditioning because believe it or not, those are some of the stuff that I would hear as a child. Yeah, jokingly totally. Or not joking from the people I dated, from my parents, like, because they're embarrassed at the situation. And so they would be quickly trying to resolve the information. Like, why aren't you thinking that through? Like what, obviously if you would have taken a little more time and all of that stuff. And so you start hearing those voices echoing in the back of your heart and back of your mind that just keep validating that just that you suck and you can't do it and you're not enough. And so we take these little experiences as having a wet t-shirt contest in a parking lot because your water bottle broke all over you and in your purse, as it meaning something about me. Yeah. And it does not.
No.
And it does not.
I love your story so much. And I love the simplicity of this because how much time and energy do we put behind those stories when we're not realizing the choice that we have in the matter. This is why when people come to me for coaching, and I'll say it in Rebels U all the time, when's the last time you had fun? Like, what would be the most fun choice out of this? What if you just went out and played, right? And like people think like, is this for real? Like this is the coaching that she's giving me. And I'm like, abso-friggin-lutely, because it's the last thing we think about. Yeah. Having fun, being silly, going and play, looking at yourself in the situation and just laughing. Like these are all choices. And guess what? They are choices that elevate our energy. They make us feel good. And when we feel good, more good is attracted to us. More situations and people and money and opportunities are attracted in to continue the good feelings. Yeah. It's not performing so that you can get these things that you claim that you want. It's actually putting yourself in this state of silliness and of fun and not taking yourself too seriously that calls it in.
And what's beautiful about this is, just reminding ourselves that there is no expiration on fun. I feel like growing up, we've been taught to, to stop playing around and get to work. Right? They literally put an expiration date on fun, is that when you're done with high school, you need to shift the ties. Fun is over. Now you're paying for your education. You better take it serious. Don't mess up. Straight A's. Don't you dare get in trouble. Don't you dare be, rebellious and do whatever. Like, you need to follow the straight and narrow. You need to fit in if you want to survive and you want to grow. And, so we've really been conditioned to put fun on the back burner. We've been conditioned to really take ourselves super serious because we live in a world that takes everything so serious. And when you're taking it serious, you're taking everything personal.
Yes.
You're taking it personal, and then you get offended so easy, and then your joy is getting stolen from you in every situation of every day. There's like nothing your spouse can say that isn't going to hurt you or offend you or is going to trigger you. There's nothing your children can say. There's nothing your employers can say. There's nothing anyone can say because we get so wound up, so tight that we're not able to just laugh it off.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many women I've heard say, and I just got to the point where I decided I needed to get serious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I decided I needed to stop messing around. I needed to get serious about where I was going. And for me, I look at them, I'm like, oh, that poor version of you that was having so much fun totally got cut off. And as you're cutting off that supply of joy, what else were you cutting off?
Yeah.
Inspiration?
Yeah.
The ability to think for yourself, curiosity, right? A lot of the times we actually put getting serious into the same category with getting mindless and following someone else's to-do list, someone else's blueprint, someone else's subscription of what you should or shouldn't be doing in the world. And there's those words, should and shouldn't, as opposed to just allowing yourself to be silly and understanding that it's in that silliness that is your truth.
Yeah. So, we're not talking extremes, right? Like, there are moments where, some people they don't take life at all serious, and the sense of like not actually trying to even achieve things, right? And so there's those people, but what we're talking to you. We know that's not you, right? We know that's not you at all. We know that you absolutely are the type of person that understands the balance between these two different worlds, right? Two responsibilities and fun, and that you can actually blend and merge them together. You guys, when I started my entrepreneurial journey, my entrepreneur journey, I was in real estate at the time. And, there was, you got to conform. And so I was dressed in the collared shirts and the high heels, and I was driving the car, and I was, doing all of the things, and I had the hair and I had the nails, and I was like working, this image as well as my job. And I would act in a certain way and I would speak in a certain way because I wanted to fit the mold. But what I lost along the way was me. What I lost along the way was my joy, because eventually that's sustainable and I was making a lot of money. So it just continued to perpetuate, meaning that I was connecting and correlating that it was my seriousness in this business, which was getting me to the direction I want to go. And maybe there was that. But what I wasn't doing was being myself. What I wasn't doing was actually attracting in the type of clients who were fun and funny and who definitely love to talk about Star Wars and Star Trek, right? Who maybe would get really excited about these really quirky and dorky gifts that I would give them that weren't the same, wine and champagne bottle, but they were really fun and unique and funny ways that would surprise them and get them to laugh. And when I shifted away from that, when I finally just decided, it actually got to the point, Jillian, where I wanted to quit. Yeah. Because I had climbed the mountain that wasn't me.
Yes.
I had climbed Expectation Mountain, and I was on the top of it, and I was on the top of the game. And I really got to the point where it's like, I just quit. And it wasn't because of anything other than the fact that I was miserable. I was miserable because I was taking everything serious and I wasn't having fun. And instead of quitting, luckily I had a good coach. Yeah. Key there, right? I had a good coach that was able to really help me start to connect that I was just living inauthentically.
Yes.
And so she challenged me to like this Joyathon. It was like a marathon of joy where I had to just answer those calls like I would answer with my friends and still be professional. Like it wasn't about like showing up and being a total like whack job. Like it was like answering the phone and be like, hey, it's Bonnie, what's up?
As opposed to Bonnie Kelly here, right? Or whatever you did.
Bonnie Kelly,
right?
go.
Oh my gosh. Next time I call you, please answer it. Bonnie Kelly, go. I will just die on the spot.
Go for Bonnie.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it so much. But isn't that just so powerful to recognize that we do certain things because we have this preconceived notion that it's time to get serious. But as we follow along this path, if it starts to lead us down or up expectation mountain, and we're finding that we are getting further and further from who we are, isn't it curious that the way back to who we are is through joy,
Fun. Yeah,
is
fun and
through
joy.
fun, is
Yeah.
through being silly, and it's not taking yourself too seriously. I just think it's so brilliant. And when we feel bad, it's because it's our soul. It's our true self saying, knock, 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 something's off here.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we are feeling bad doing the thing that we should be doing on Expectation Mountain, that's actually our true self waving a flag and saying, hey, 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 can we do something different? Because this actually feels awful. Like, let's
Yeah.
do the opposite of this. Let's call in the fun.
Yeah. And now this is true. We talked work, but you guys think about this in your marriage. Right? It's like there's an old saying that expectation is the root to all heartache. And for me, it's unspoken expectations, the expectations of how you should be in this relationship. And when you get married, the relationship does change because there are a lot of expectations that weren't spoken that just start to emerge. And then we start falling and, without communication, we start to fall and pivot into these specific roles that aren't actually in attuned or alignment with our highest authentic selves. Or we get stuck in these roles and then we evolve and we evolve and we evolve, but yet we're still pinned into these roles of who we were or who we should be without these conversations. And so there's this expectation. It's like, yeah, you've learned all this amazing stuff, but you need to be the same person I knew 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
And that's not possible, right? It's not possible. Like it would be, me going out into my yard, I've got these beautiful redwood trees and saying, okay, I see you in your glory right now. Don't change, don't grow, don't expand, don't go further. Just stay right where you're at right now, because that's what I expect from you. Am I going to be sorely disappointed in 10 years? Yeah, that tree is going to have expanded. It's grown. It's got rings. It's just adapted to its environment.
Yeah.
So we want to recognize that the same is true for us, is that we as individuals are constantly expanding and growing, and to expect ourselves or our partners to be some version of themselves that was who we knew 10, 20, 15 years ago isn't going to be fair. And this is an ongoing conversation about, am I standing on top of Expectation Mountain, being the version of myself that everyone expects me to be? My mom, my boss, my wife, my husband, whoever, and saying like, here, I'm waving this flag. I'm literally picture perfect and miserable.
Yeah. As you were saying that, I was just thinking, like I have never been a mom of 3 before, right? Like I am making all sorts of silly mistakes right now, right? And nothing like bad, but like all sorts of, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I could go down shame road and like be like, what is the matter with me? Like, why can't I get my stuff together? Like, why does everything seem a lot harder right now? Or I can remember that I've never done this before and I don't have to take each situation so seriously.
Yes.
I can find the fun in, or what do they say? I can find the miracles in the mess, right? I can find, I can choose to look for those things. So just like the marriage is going to look different 10 years later, just like those redwood trees are going to look different, every single day we can firmly stand where we are and say, I've never done this day before.
Yeah.
Right. And so instead of being so hard on myself, instead of being so judgmental of myself and so serious, how can I remember that I am evolving as a human always?
Yes.
And it's a lot more fun if I'm not taking myself so seriously and I'm coming at it with a beginner's attitude all the time, which is allowing for me to find the joy in the moment and not get so stuck with how it should look and so serious with how I should be doing better, and just allow ourselves to be in the silly, messy, wonderful place that we're always in all the time.
And so there's two things that we want to really make sure to emphasize on what you guys can do about this. Number one is we need to take that self-inventory to figure out, where are you living inauthentically and or taking yourself too seriously? Okay. And the easiest way to find that is like, where do you hurt? Okay. Follow the pain. The pain's going to lead you right up the mountain. It really will. So just follow the pain, follow the hurt, follow the numbness, follow the regret, follow the shame, follow the guilt, follow the destructive emotion. So it will show you where you're at. And then from that place, once we've done the evaluation, is two parts on the second part. Okay. First off, this is not a new opportunity for you to shame and guilt yourself. Okay.
No,
like this is an awareness piece to be able to say like, all right, I'm observing of this. I'm aware of this. And now what do I need to do to start climbing down the mountain?
Yeah.
So the reason why I emphasize this mountain aspect of it is that you don't just like find yourself at the top and say, F it, I quit it all, and I'm going to just jump to the bottom. Like it just doesn't, unless you're like got a parachute and you're, bungee jumping or whatever, but that's still not going to take you so far because that mountain's slanted, right? It's like you really do need to climb down the mountain. And that means it's like, these are steps. Mm-hmm. What steps do I need to take to start getting myself back into alignment with my true self and with joy? What steps can I start to take to not take myself so seriously so that I can laugh hysterically when I'm having a wet t-shirt contest in the middle of a parking lot because my bottle of water exploded all over my white shirt? Like, where can you begin to accidentally make a mistake in business or work that actually may have repercussions, take ownership of it, but yet still laugh and realize it means nothing about your worth. It means nothing about your confidence or competence. Okay? Right. That it just means that you're human, having a human experience, and you're muddling your way through it because, just like Jillian said, you've never had a day like today before.
Yeah.
And you're never going to have a day like today again.
And isn't that amazing? And thank goodness, right? Because that proves evolution. That proves that you're participating in your life. And if you're able and willing to give yourself grace, laugh at the silly stuff, and just have a good time, you're going to end up enjoying life the whole way through so much deeper.
Yeah. And if you need help with that, sister, we've got you. All right. You can come explore more with Jillian and I. You can go to rebelsforjoy.com and you can explore all the amazing gifts. But more so, we really invite you to join us on doing the deeper dives so that we can guide you down the mountain with ease. So you don't hit all the perils and the obstacles that you're going to encounter. There's just no way of avoiding it. And so instead of getting stuck in a cave, right, let's figure out how we can guide you together with ease and grace down these obstacles so that you can really, truly start climbing Authentic Mountain. You can climb Joy Mountain. You can climb Best Life Mountain, if there is one, right? Like really, truly just find your way down these, away from wearing the mask, away from inauthenticity, away from misery, and reclaim your joy. And we can support you every step of the way doing that. We are here. Just send us a message. Even if you just want to reach out on social media, like just send us a message. Just like help, SOS, like I need some support. So we're here. That's all I want to say.
Ladies, we answer all of our social media DMs. We answer all of our emails. So this is our invitation to you. Hit reply, hit DM. Have a conversation with us. Let our souls connect. We know that you're connecting to this podcast, but the people that make up Jillian and Bonnie want to have that intimate conversation and intimate relationship with you as well. We are here. We love you so much. We're so grateful for you. Thank you for being a part of this conversation today. And we just hope that you start to recognize that you can live your life to a standard of joy, and we are here for it and for you the whole way through.
Amen to that. All right, sister, with that, we are out and we'll see you on the next episode.